Hello everybody. This is your girl Irama Vivi. Well, if you're new to this channel, I'd urge you to subscribe to my YouTube channel and also tap on the notification button to get notified whenever I drop an educational video. And also comment in the comment section whatever you do not understand. And also my Instagram link will be placed in the comment section below, so you can tap on it, and if you have any clarifications to make, you can just direct message me via my inbox or contact the business line if you want a job to be done for you. Okay, so straight to the point. Today we're going to be learning about sentence errors. So learning this topic would help you during your interviews, writing, well, my freelancers, and it improves your fluency in speaking. Okay, so I decided to make this video because a lot of us actually do not understand that we consistently make sentence errors. We think we're saying the right thing, but it's actually not right, especially those who write, those who teach, and all those things. You actually kind of confuse people with your sentences, but they actually not really get it and just ignore it and let it go. So this is how you to address it. If you go for interviews and one-on-one, you need a job and you've been asked some questions, you actually have to be specific. You actually have to give a direct meaning and not to get your balls running out of it thinking, what is this person trying to say? Like, beating the minds. So if you're a tutor and you're about to teach this topic, yet you're confused on how to go about it, then this is for you. Well, my Instagram is at Irama Vivi. Well, that is the name of my Instagram handle, Irama Vivi. And also, always the writing and tutoring service is always there to help you. We're always there to help you. You actually need a writing expert or tutoring service to actually help you boost your English or boost your writing skills. So always the writing and tutoring service is always there for you. If you want to contact them, all you need to do is just go to my Instagram handle. The contact number is in my bio section, or you can direct message me for anything and your job will get done for you. Okay, so let's move on. Sorry, let's move on. Okay, so before we move on, let's just get to read these sentences. Okay, so number one talks about the man with a knife was stopped by the police. Well, I actually want you to read and actually derive some meaning out of what you're reading, and jumping up and down entertain him. Okay, so the number one and two, if you say the man with the knife was stopped by the police, well, actually everybody will actually try to get what you're trying to say because it's a normal English. And jumping up and down entertained him. You'd be like, okay. But on the normal note, on the professional note, the man with the knife was stopped by the police. Jumping up and down entertaining him is quite like, what are you trying to say? What are you trying to say? Who was jumping up and down, and who was actually with the knife? Who? If you do this in your writing, you are just off. If you do this in your writing, you're off. Your writing wouldn't be perfect and you would lose a lot of customers. Actually, people say, yeah, I joined a group for copywriting because as a human being, you don't know all. You just need to keep learning. So I actually joined a copywriting group, and this guy was like, you don't need to be fluent in English language before you could write. You could write. Like, who does that? You're going to be actually seeing a whole lot of sentence errors in your work, and people would always be getting wrong write-ups, and they'll be like, why are people not coming for my work? Because they do not understand your sentences. They do not understand what you mean in your write-up. You actually need the fluency. You actually need it. You need it. Okay, Please, I'm sorry for my WhatsApp messages popping up. Really, really sorry. So let's move on. So this is the sentence number one. Okay, so the man with the knife was stopped by the police. If you're speaking to a native speaker or a professional in English and you say this, did actually deduce two meanings from this. Well, native speakers and professional writers, we actually have two brains. So when we speak, we actually think twice. So this would actually give you a low grade, like low grade. That is why if you know you're not really perfect, you actually need someone to proofread and all that, okay? And moreover too, we actually have the American writing and then the British writing. So if you're writing, you actually need someone to proofread for you, because you cannot mix the American words or the American writing style with the British writing style in one write-up. Like, you're actually off. You're off. You actually need one writing style and the other writing style. You can't mix both. We'll be talking about that soon in the next video. That is why you need a professional expert to actually proofread. But as I'm talking, I guess you're reading the sentences. The man with the knife was stopped by the police. Well, someone will ask you, was it the man in the subject position who was holding the knife? Or did the police stab the man with the knife? Which is which? I'm confused. Because with the knife here, which is the clause modifying which person, like who or what is with the knife, that clause there, who is it talking about? Like, who was holding it? Like, what is it modifying? Which one? We are actually confused. So there are actually ways you need to correct these, and that is why this is the part one of this video. The part two video will be talking about how to correct all sentence errors, all the types of sentence errors. Okay, so we're just getting the scope, the whole scope or whole concept of what sentence errors actually is. Okay, so just stay tuned. So back, I know you're as confused as I am. So the man with the knife was stabbed by the police. Was it the man in the subject position holding the knife, or did the police stab the man with the knife? You actually need to let the clause, which is about to modify the right subject. So we gotta understand. So you have to rephrase this in a very, very good manner. So if you're actually writing about police and the man in your essay or something for someone, and you write this and the person actually can deduce meaning to the picture, you also actually think twice, or maybe it's a blog. How do you expect people to read this? People would always skip your blogs, or people would always skip your essays, your articles. Like, it's confusing. You just need the right sentences. Let's move on to number two. The sentence number two talks about jumping up and down, entertain him. Like, you just walk to me, jumping up and down, entertain him. Or you write in your book, Kofi and Amma are good riders. Jumping up and down entertained him. Like, who was jumping up and down? Who? Who actually entertained the him in this? Like, who actually entertained the him in question? Like, who? We actually have no idea. So your sentence is actually dangling. It's actually shaking, because we don't know who you're talking about. Who actually entertained the him? Who? So the subject is actually missing. The one performing the action is nowhere to be found, and this actually makes your sentence so wrong. We actually use this kind of sentence like consistently. Like, going home. Going home, sorry. It's just so different, like, so different. If you're saying going home, we'll be talking about elliptical sentences more soon, because if it's like going home, maybe you have interaction with you and your friend. So where you going? Going home. It's different. Or where you going? Home. It's different. But in the case where there is a third party, going home. Who is going home? Or you just writing an essay, an article, or blog, and be like, going home. Going home. What has it done? Like, who is going home? Who is performing the going? Like, what? Okay, so yeah, jumping up and down, entertain him. Like, who entertain him? Oh, I guess we need to call the police because we need to find who is actually jumping up and down. What do you think? I think we need to search for the person jumping up and down. He might be missing. He might be kidnapped. Oh gosh, just I want everybody, each and everyone watching this video, I want you all to actually create posters and distribute it everywhere, okay? So we just write a ransom that the person who finds the who in question will be compensated. I think the person has actually been kidnapped, like robbers, like were or killed, buried, used for rituals, like we don't know the who. Where is he? And this makes the whole question this makes the whole sentence an error because we do not know the one performing the action, the subject. Okay, so I know you all will be curious on how we're going to correct sentences like this, but don't be in a rush. You need to understand the scope or the concept of sentence errors before we dive into it, so that when we are moving, you'll be able to understand what we actually mean or what we actually mean by sentence errors and how we're going to address them in a correct manner. So just stay tuned, okay? So with all these examples, I guess you can actually deduce or tell me the meaning of sentence errors. Like, don't just look at mine. Don't look at mine. Do not look at mine meaning, okay? Just try and deduce, like, think about your meaning. What is the meaning of sentence errors? Then what's a sentence errors? It can be one word, it can be two words describing what you think sentence errors might mean. Okay, so what are sentence errors? Sentence errors are sentences which do not expose a specific meaning. Of course, sentence errors are just sentences which actually give you a divided attention. They are incomplete, they are ambiguous, and they make one ask questions. So if your sentence is questionable, meanwhile it is not a question, then you have a problem. If it is not a question, and your sentence is questionable, then you have a problem. You really do have a problem. Even questions will have straight answers. So why does your statement got to get a question? Like, how? Your statement must be direct with someone to get the specific meaning out of it. The person must not get a divided attention. That is absolutely wrong. That is not a sentence. You're actually forming your own type of group of words, which is actually not a sentence, okay? I know you might have learned sentences with a subject, verb, agrees, and all those things. We're going to come to this channel because you actually need that during your writing, during your teaching, during your speaking. But you really need to know the sentence errors first. To me, I think we need to know the sentence errors first before we get to that, so that when we get to that, we'll be able to go on well. Okay, so let's move on. Let's get this example, okay? So a teacher enters the class. She tells 3 students to stand up, and she tells them to give her a feedback to whatever she says, okay? So she made a statement to each other. So she made a statement to each one of them for her feedback. So the conversation is below. So teacher, I know. First student, know what? What do you know? Teacher, when we go to school. Second student, what will happen when we go to school? What will happen? Like, what will happen? Teacher, I understand. Third student, I don't get you by what you mean by you understand. What do you understand? Like, sorry, the what do you understand should have gotten a question mark, okay? So, I'm actually in a rush to do this video, so pardon me, okay? So, what do you actually understand? Like, what? I know you were confused as the students were confused, and as I was also confused. Like, one cannot start a sentence without completing it. Like, duh. How would one get a derived meaning from what you mean, what you actually mean? If you were in a conversation already, it is absolutely fine. The person you are talking to can simply answer you without necessarily completing the sentence. And we call that elliptical sentences, okay? So that is what I was talking about earlier on, that someone like, where you going? But like, home or going home. That is an incomplete sentence, but it's an elliptical sentence because the person you're talking to actually understands what you're talking to, and you actually say or give elliptical sentences because you actually don't want to waste time, or you're actually feeling lazy to construct the whole sentences. A whole lot of sentences, so you just got a short. Okay, it's fine. And that if someone just arrives during a conversation, the person would totally get confused with those incomplete sentences. Of course, if you're talking to someone and be like, I hope you get what I'm trying to say, or something like, I understand. But if you say I understand and someone just appears, I'm like, what do you understand? What do you mean by you understand? What do you understand? What are you guys talking about? What do you understand? But you'd be like, I guess you understood what madam taught in class. Yeah, I understood what the lecturer taught in class. The next student will be like, oh yeah, I think she actually did well. She be actually be able to talk back without getting confused because you actually giving a specific meaning. Okay, so note, elliptical sentences can be used when speaking only, or it can be used during a play, write up, dialogue. You can't use elliptical sentences during your essays, copywriting, content writing. You can't. You can't use that. You can't, because we won't understand what you're trying to tell us. We absolutely won't understand. But during a play or a dialogue or oral speaking, the conversation is going to be between two people, or it's going to be two more people. Okay, so like, we're going to understand what you're trying to say. I will get it. So I'm sorry. Instead of can, I wrote carb. It's cab. Be used. Just forgive me. Okay. Actually in a rush to do this video, and I'm really sorry for that. I'm really sorry because I need to post this video today. Okay. So with all what we've learned so far, why do we need to learn sentence errors? Why do we need to learn sentence errors? Okay, because you watching the video be like, so why am I learning this? I'm not a writer, so why am I learning this? Someone be like, okay, writing, I really need this. Someone be like, just speak the English. Why do I need this? You actually need it, babe. You actually need it. So it actually prevents your sentences from being ambiguous, meaning it actually prevents your sentence from getting two or more meanings. So just like the first sentence, the man with the knife was stabbed by the police, has two meanings. And if you're able to learn your sentence errors and you're able to correct them, you'd actually give a specific meaning, and someone will not derive two meanings out of your sentence, and it actually makes your work so easy and so interesting to read. Okay, so it proves your fluency in English language. Like, boob, you're fine, babe, you're fine, like, you're nice, beautiful, you're handsome, and you're fluent. Oh my gosh, I know English may not be most of us our mother language or our first tongue, but what we need today, like our L1. But we still need to be fluent because it is an international language. If you go to China, you still need English to be able to communicate because you do not speak Chinese. If you go to Dubai, same. If you go to everywhere, and during meetings, who knows? Maybe you might find yourself in one of the international things. Do not underestimate yourself. You might find yourself somewhere and you actually need someone who actually understands English, and you might be the only person. So that is what we actually need. Okay, so fluency in English, I will not say it's a must, but it is a good thing. Okay, it is a good thing. It improves the writing ability and perfection of my writers. Like when you're writing and people are reading your work, they'll be like, just look at this perfect writing. You guys just look at this perfect writing. I'm just so happy. Like I got my right content, understood everything. And you get your writing, get people keep coming to you like always and always. And it's also very helpful during your interviews. So during interviews, you get to interact with your boss, and your boss will be like, "Well, damn, this girl or this guy actually is good. This girl or this guy is good actually." So that one too will come to that. Okay, actually should it be in that consensus? It was also a sentence error. Okay, it actually is good shouldn't be that. It is good actually. It's also another sentence error. Would learn that. Okay, so when you're speaking and you're able to sense that you're wrong somewhere, you're grammatically wrong somewhere, it's totally perfect. Your boss will be like, yeah, this person can actually communicate to customers, can actually tell people what they need to know, what they actually need to hear, and you're just good to go. You just be picked like faster. It avoids your sentences to get questioned. That way, when you write a sentence right, your sentences do not get questioned. They're just direct and good to go. So direct, we understand, you go. No long talks, and that is all. I bet you understand. Like you really need to learn this, babes. Just imagine you sitting in the office or in your home, the comfort of your home, your sofa, and then get a call. Please, I just have this way. Can you just proofread or edit for me? Because you speak good English, you write very well. You're just so perfect. And you're good to go. Okay, so there are some of these plagiarism sites which actually, when you put your writing pieces there to check for plagiarism, they actually check your grammatical sentences and your grammatical errors. And just imagine placing it there for plagiarism and your sentences do not count, and then you're being given a 91% or 99% plagiarism. You'll be like, oh no, you just have a serious work. You'll be like, I actually didn't plagiarize, but he'll be like, my dear, you have grammatical errors in your work as well due to your sentence errors. And he'll be like, that is a 10 out for the whole paper. Are you about to start all over or what? Like, what are you going to do? So it's good if you know it now and you do it well and you're good to go. Okay? So, sentence errors. There are 5 types of sentence errors. Okay, so the sentence errors we will make, there are 5 types, and I actually spoke about 3. I know you did not know because we just started, but some of you may be familiar with it as well. So number 1 is sentence fragment. We're going to be talking about soon in the next video. That's the part 2 of this video. Misplaced or squinting modifiers. We have dangling modifiers. We have run on a few sentences and common splices. Well, people actually tell you we have 7 types of sentence errors. They would actually separate the squinting modifiers from the misplaced modifiers, but they actually are the same thing. Squinting modifiers is a type. Squinting modifier is a type of misplaced modifier, okay? And then run-on is the same as fused. The fused sentences are the same as run-on sentences, okay? So we don't have to get 7 types to be explaining the same thing, like to be repeating things. No. So to me, we have only 5. Sentence fragment, misplaced or squinting modifiers, dangling modifiers, one on a few sentences, common splices. So note this, mechanical errors are different from sentence errors. Mechanical errors determine the mechanical accuracy in your text, okay? So mechanical errors, people will be like, okay, what about if I place a wrong punctuation somewhere or wrong spelling? Is that also sentence error? No, that is a mechanical error, and we would actually talk about that. So do not worry, okay? So let's move on. So in our next video, we'll talk about the first 3 types of sentence errors and how to correct them or avoid them. And these 3 types, we're going to be talking about sentence fragment, misplaced or squinting modifiers, and then the dangling modifiers. So in our next video, which is the part 2 of this video, we'll be talking about the first 3 types of sentence errors. And then thank you all for watching. I hope this was of great help to you and you understood the whole concept of sentence errors. Please don't forget to subscribe and like. Do not forget. Also tap on the notification button to get notified whenever I post an educational video. And also don't forget to follow me on Instagram and also ask questions or clarification. So I actually post normal words, like normal daily words. I'm going to be posting normal daily English mistakes and normal words on my Instagram site. So you actually need to be there to actually learn, and we're actually going to be getting some interactions. And also I have actually thought about something. I've really thought about something which I'll be doing. So after every YouTube video, I place a quiz, and then the first 2 people to get the quiz correct would actually get a gift. Okay, it can be in cash, so do not miss it. Okay, but it's mostly going to be in cash since I'm not going to be meeting you face to face. So yeah, so just watch the videos and just interact. Okay, so people always need motivations to actually learn, so that is why we're going to be awarding people for getting it right. Okay, so thank you, voila. Thank you all for watching. I love you all. Bye bye.